This is Singapore. No oil, no minerals, and not enough natural water. Even today, some of its water comes from Malaysia. It is smaller than New York City. On paper, this island should not be rich. But in 2024, it produced more than $90,000 per person, more than the United States. Its port is among the world's busiest, and its factories make 1 in every 10 chips worldwide. So how did an island with almost nothing become this important? The answer begins with a narrow strip of water.
Look at the map. To travel by sea between the Indian Ocean and East Asia, the fastest route runs through the Strait of Malacca between Malaysia and Indonesia. Every day, roughly 23 million barrels of oil and petroleum liquids pass through this corridor, close to 3 in every 10 barrels traded by sea. And at the southern entrance sits Singapore. That location was a gift. But location alone does not create wealth. Singapore's real advantage was what it built around the traffic. Safe harbors, fast customs, repair yards, fuel, finance, insurance, and a port designed to waste as little time as possible. The ships were already passing by. Singapore gave them a reason to stop.
A modern port is not just a place where boxes are unloaded. It is a giant sorting machine. A container may leave Vietnam, stop in Singapore, switch ships, and continue to Rotterdam. Another may arrive from China and leave for Los Angeles. In 2025, Singapore handled more than 44 million TEUs of container traffic. Most of that cargo was being transferred somewhere else. That flow created an economy around the port: shipping companies, warehouses, ship repair, marine fuel, legal services, insurance, and trade finance. Then Singapore went further. Crude oil arrived from abroad, was refined in Singapore, and left again as fuel and chemicals. Jurong Island, created by joining 7 smaller islands, became a major energy and chemical hub. Singapore did not need to own the oil. It needed to own the useful part of the journey. But port services and oil refining were never the final destination. After independence, Singapore faced high unemployment and almost no industrial base. The government built industrial estates, trained workers, and invited foreign manufacturers to set up factories. The first products were simple: garments, toys, and basic electronics. Then Singapore moved toward industries that required more skill, more precision, and more capital. Electronics became semiconductors. Basic manufacturing became advanced manufacturing. Today, Singapore accounts for about 10% of global semiconductor output and roughly 20% of semiconductor equipment production. That did not happen because the island discovered a hidden natural resource. It happened because Singapore kept upgrading the resources it had created: infrastructure, technical skills, trusted institutions, and access to global markets. The port brought the world to Singapore. Industrial policy made the world stay. Eventually, Singapore faced the one problem every small island does: it ran out of room. So it made more. Singapore grew from about 582 square kilometers in 1960 to more than 744 in 2025. Shallow water became financial districts, industrial zones, airports, and ports. Marina Bay expanded the city center. 7 islands became Jurong Island. Changi Airport and the new port at Tuas rose on reclaimed land. But reclamation is slow and expensive. It demands planning years before the first building appears. Singapore did not wait for space to run out. It built ahead. Its size was a limit. Planning turned that limit into pressure to think further ahead.
Singapore was lucky to sit beside the Strait of Malacca.
But geography only opened the door. It did not build the port, the refineries, the factories, or the institutions companies trusted. Singapore turned one advantage into a chain of new ones. The port created logistics. Logistics supported industry. Industry built skills. Skills attracted more advanced industries, capital, and technology. Singapore did not become rich because it had everything. It became rich because having almost nothing forced it to build, protect, and upgrade every advantage it created. Geography opened the door. Planning kept it open.